it's just a straightforward short service, and here we are, and behind us was Yom Kippur, and we started to build the sukkah. Um,
Looks great.
Sukkah made out of everything we worked on over the holidays. And now we're looking for a refuge, and we're finding a refuge in our sukkah. However, if our sukkah is inside ourselves or in our backyard, um, so we're going to begin. We're going to skip the Baruch Hu because we do not have a minyan or close to a minyan or anything like a minyan. But we
Candles?
will go into the prayers, the prayer afterward, the first prayer of Mariv. Did you want? Did you want us? We'll do candles first. Go ahead. We don't need a minyan to light candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel yom tov. Looks nice, huh?
Shechianu too.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
טוב.
Okay. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בדברו מעריב ערבים. חכם. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, מעריב ערבים. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת. כי הם חיינו ויורך ימינו. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. אל מלך נאמן, שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Impress these words of mine upon your heart and upon your soul. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a symbol above your eyes. Teach them to your children by speaking of them when you sit in your home, when you walk on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your home and on your gates. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor.
Let me get my notes.
Huh?
Conclusion of the third paragraph. Ani Adonai Elohechem אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Continue silently through to page 44.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה יאמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נוראתי לו תוסף אלה נוראתי לו תוסף אלה מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה ליאנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום, ויעמידנו מלכנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלום. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. וידבר משה את מועדי אדוני אל בני ישראל.
Thus Moses proclaimed the festivals of Adonai to the people of Israel. We rise for our Amidah, be silent. Our Amidah for festivals begins on page 306. We follow the additions for Sukkot, 306 to 314. So Kate and yours, I'm not sure of the page number, but it should be the Amidah for festivals.
You'll recognize it.
Right. Thank you.
בכל עת, בכל שעה, בשלומך. Oh, say shalom, shalom, shalom bimroma. Uyase shalom aleinu, yal kol Yisrael. Timeru. Amen.
We have a Kiddush for holidays 79, page 79.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'am, ורוממנו מכל לשון, וקידישנו במצוותיו. ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה, מועדים לשמחה, חגים וזמנים לששון. את יום חג הסוכות הזה, זמן שמחתנו, מקרא קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל עמים, ומועדי קודשך, בשמחה ובששון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש ישראל, והזמנים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Please be seated. Chag Sameach, Chag Sameach.
Yeah.
Well, we come to Sukkot this year, and it is, as I've been saying all throughout the holidays, just a different time for the holidays. And of course, we have the situation in Israel, the ongoing war, and rockets falling in Israel, and in Israel, people are very much muted because of what's happening. And of course, also our holidays this year, just because they're late, happen to fall, in the middle of October 7th, and we've got Simchat Torah in the Hebrew calendar is the commemoration. So it's not an easy time, and in some ways, life feels a little bit like the sukkah, a fragile place, a temporary place, a place where the walls are not quite walls, and the roof is not quite a roof, and the whole thing feels a little rickety. And yet, the Sukkot is also meant to be the time of our joy. That's what we say in all our Amidah, that's what we say in all the prayers, and the Kiddush the Karen just said, Zman Simchateinu, the time of our joy, a time of gathering, and a time of trying to find a little bit of just the joy of a Chag. And Sukkot is the original Chag. It's the first real holiday of our tradition. And even Pesach is Pesach, but it's not called a Chag the way a Chag, meaning a holiday, is what Sukkot is called. And the joy of Sukkot was so great in ancient times. There's all these descriptions in the Talmud of what Jerusalem was like in the time of the holiday, and the great pilgrimage, everybody going up there, climbing up towards Jerusalem and the temple on the holiday. I mean, they all came to a climax in the festival of Simchat Beit HaShoeva. So most of the years in the temple, it was different kinds of offerings that were placed on the altar. But once a year on Simcha, on Sukkot, it was water that they poured on the altar. And there's just this outpouring of water. There's this beautiful description in the Talmud of it. I'll just read you a little bit of it. It begins by saying, "He that has never seen the Simchat Beit HaShova, the joy of the water drawing," is the name of this holiday that was in the middle of Sukkot, has never in his life seen joy. So at the close of the first festival day, so that would be in a few days from now, or a day from now, because it was only one day then, they went down to the court in Israel, of course. They went down to the court of the women and made great preparations there. And so just as the first day was done, they would go out and they would start to make preparations in the part of, in the greater court of the temple. And they'd have all these candlesticks everywhere. The candlesticks were 50 cubits high. A cubit is a decent measurement. 4 ladders led up to each candlestick, and 4 youths from the priestly stock went up holding in their hands jars of oil of 24 logs capacity, which they poured into the bowls. So everywhere there was this light. You can imagine there's also fall time there, just like here, and beautiful lights all around the courtyard of the temple, and they made wicks out of them. And then they say, there was not a courtyard in Jerusalem that did not reflect the light of the Beit Shoeva. So all the light coming from the temple was so strong that all the courtyards in Jerusalem reflected that light. And this is, I'm quoting it verbatim, "Men of piety and good deeds used to dance before them with burning torches in their hands, singing songs and praises." So there's all these, normally, I imagine, dour men of piety and good deeds suddenly dancing with torches and juggling with torches, and countless Levites playing on harps, lyres, cymbals, and trumpets, and other instruments of music on the 15 steps leading from the court of the Israelites to the court of women. 2 priests stood at the upper gate, and then you'd have 2 people with 2 trumpets in hand that would sound a whole bunch of blasts on the trumpets and on the shofar, and it's just this incredible time of this outpouring of joy. And of course, it was a harvest season, so there's a sense of plenty and of harvest. But also, we've come to understand it as a time of spiritual harvest and spiritual bounty. And that the joy of Sukkot is a special kind of joy. It's not the joy of Purim. The joy of Purim is a joy that we create. Purim, our other great joyous holiday, by wearing masks, by being silly, by acting as if the world is upside down, with drink also. But at Sukkot is just a time when it's all the joy, all that time we spent in synagogue together, in our prayer books, thinking and reflecting and chanting, and all of that builds inside of us, and it all comes out in this holiday. There's beautiful teaching that whatever sukkah you are in, you breathe some of the air of Jerusalem. So even if you don't have a sukkah, you can come to sukkah at our synagogue and breathe some of that air. So it is a heavy holidays this year with Israel still at war. We still have that joy with us, the joy of everything we experienced just a few days ago. It seems like weeks ago now, but just a few days ago in synagogue on Yom Kippur and before the Rosh Hashanah. And so may we all experience some of that joy, a joy that transcends everything here, because in the end, all of life is really a sukkah. And perhaps all we have is that joy that's within our own being. Chag Sameach.
Yeah.
Let's turn to Aleinu, page 56. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא שם אלוהינו. תחת עינות, על פי מקבל אחד. הכתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
So we're going to please stay standing. Only announcement is we have services at 10 a.m. for the next few days, our Sukkot services, and then regular Shabbat times for our Shabbat services. And so we conclude with let us conclude with a hymn. We could do the bracha after the hymn. Is there anything you'd like to add, Cantor? Any prayer?
Yes.
Okay.
Well.
We could end just with a bracha, up to you. If you could
Yeah,
end with a
bracha.
along. Okay. Well, we end with a bracha as we begin Sukkot, Zman Simchatenu. May we just experience the joy of this period of the year, the joy of being together, the joy of looking up through the schach of the sukkah and seeing the stars above, of breathing in the air of Jerusalem. And let us say Amen.
And
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Yeh Ratzon,
Adonai bless and protect you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
Ratzon,
Adonai's countenance shine upon you. May Adonai bestow kindness upon you.
Yisra Adonai panav elecha, yasem lecha shalom.
Yeh Ratzon.
Adonai's countenance be lifted towards you. May Adonai grant you peace. Chag
Chag
Sameach.
Sameach. Do you care to identify yourself?
Is that Paul?
No, it's Octavio.
Oh no, I know it's
you're
Octavio.
not iPad. There's somebody
Who's on the
labeled
iPad?
as iPad.
Oh, that's Morris.
Oh, Morris.